jumping back in the Wayback Machine to 1986, the original party band from the Strip, Poison, and their debut album, Look What the Cat Dragged In. Let's go! Alright guys, this album came out in 1986, and it wasn't until the following year that I would be introduced to the band and this album in particular. And I can honestly say my introduction to this band falls squarely on the shoulder of my friend and yours, Darrell.
Oh, hi!
Darrell is the reason that I knew that this band existed. And if I'm being quite honest, Darrell knew that this band existed strictly as a result of MTV.
Right here on MTV.
I can remember us going to Madison Square Mall.
It's all at Madison Square, the ultimate shopping odyssey.
Back in the day, for him specifically, to get this cassette. He found the cassette. I can't remember whether it was Record Bar or Camelot, one of the two music stores there. But we get about halfway home and his mom's driving us, and we realize that the one thing that we went to the mall for, that cassette, which he found and purchased, had been left behind. So he has his mom turn around, go back to the mall, go back to the store that he bought it at, and say, hey, I was just here. I bought Poison's Look What the Cat Dragged In on cassette. I think I left it here. And sure enough, he did. And he got the tape back, and we went on to his house where we proceeded to start cranking it. So obviously, Poison had some tremendous success right out the gate. Talk Dirty to Me was a huge hit for him and put him on the map.
Talk dirty to me.
But during that time, even though we enjoyed the music, they were no Motley Crue, they were no Kiss, they weren't super tough, which is ironic to say given Motley Crue's image for Theater of Pain. It was almost like they were too wimpy to acknowledge liking. You didn't want to put them up there as one of your favorites, but the truth of the matter is, I think we all cranked that album a lot more than at least me and a lot of my friends would admit back in the day. Proud to say it now. All right, guys, this is such a fun album. Best song, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a cheat. I got a toss up, I couldn't call it. Talk Dirty to Me, and Look What the Cat Dragged In.
Oh my God, look what the cat dragged in.
They tie. Now, I've got to be honest, I wanted so bad for this to be Talk Dirty to Me, to be the best song on the album. Certainly growing up, that was the song, the quintessential party band song from the era. Nothing but great memories about the song, hearing it the first time, the music video, and everything that went with it. But I have to be honest, man, Look What the Cat Dragged In is just a phenomenal song. If that had been the single that got a video made and released, that would be the song everybody remembers the most off of that album. That's the song that they have opened every single show with, I believe, in their entire career, at least since the debut of this album. It didn't matter whether I saw them in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, or the 2020s, or whether it was Bret Michaels solo. I think they always start with Look What the Cat Dragged In. And there's a reason for it, and it's because that's an awesome song. So they're both great, and I just couldn't pull myself to grab one over the other. All right, worst song on the album, we'll just get right to it. Blame It On You. There's nothing eventful about this song. It is a snooze fest from beginning to end. Just didn't really care for it.
But it does have the great line of Razzmatazz.
Oh yeah, Razzmatazz.
I guess all the more reason for it to be on the worst song on the album list.
Razzmatazz.
Most overrated song, and this is going to be a surprise to a lot of you, and also I expect a lot of heat for this comment, but I Want Action is the most overrated song on this album. Now, that's not to say it's a bad song. It is a good song, and maybe it's that David Lee Roth-esque breakdown in the middle where he just starts talking that throws me back to how I feel about David Lee Roth and early Van Halen. I don't know what it is, but I will say that given how many other gems are on this album, that one did not deserve to rise to the top in popularity over a lot of these other songs. All right, guys, so the biggest surprise for me on this one has got to be Play Dirty. That song is one that, for whatever reason, back in the day, I used to just kind of skip over it. Didn't give it much of a second thought. But it's got a really, really cool sound to it. Not sure how convincing the tough guy act is with the 4 ladies on the cover being the ones to deliver that message, but it's got a really cool guitar solo too, like a lot of the songs on the album. So for me, this was definitely a great newfound surprise, I guess. A big surprise to me that this nugget kind of jumped out at me, and it's now in my regular rotation. All right, so the biggest letdown for me on this album is the song Let Me Go to the Show. Back in the day, this was kind of the benchmark for who was a true fan of the band and the music and who was a bandwagon fan that only knew the songs that they had videos for. It's meant to be the rebellious teenager, damn the man and the parents that just don't understand what rockin' is all about, and they're gonna go to the show and the parents don't want them to go. And man, when you were 14 years old, that was what you wanted. A little bit older, a few years down the road, just didn't hold up quite like I had hoped it would, and certainly doesn't hit anywhere near like it did way back in the 80s. All right, guys, the overall rank, this is another one that I had such a hard time with because I was teetering back and forth between a couple of different rankings. Kind of disappointed in myself a little bit, but I went ahead and I settled on ranking this album at a 7. It gets a 7, and let me tell you why. It's not because the album as a whole is substandard by any stretch of the imagination, but really and truly, side 1 of this album is so strong that it essentially carries the entire album. You flip it over to side 2, you're going to get Talk Dirty to Me to start off side 2, and then after that, it's just like a bunch of nothing happens. It's, you know, filler songs and you know, they're fine. You know, they're okay. They're not like horribly turn them off, you know, skip over them. They're really, really bad. But I tell you, you know, especially back in the day when, whether it be vinyl or cassette, where you tended to listen to one whole side and kind of almost anticipate flipping that vinyl over or ejecting and flipping the tape to side 2, you wanted it to continue. And you really thought it was going to with this one because Talk Dirty to Me starts off side 2. But then after that, I mean, really after the first song on side 2, you might as well stop the tape and just rewind it back and listen to the first side of the album as well as the first track on side 2. So its overall mediocrity after side 1 is what keeps it down in the 7 range for me. Thanks for tuning in again, man. Had a great time going all the way back to 1986 and reviewing the debut album for Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In. I hope you enjoyed the review as well. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Leave the comments. I know I keep saying it. Leave the comments so we can know what you're thinking. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? You got a bone to pick with me? Let me hear it. You got a request on something that you want to hear reviewed? Let's hear it. All right? So I appreciate you watching Larry on Eric and Darrell.